Everybody tells you an electrical apprenticeship is the path. Great pay, no student debt, career for life. All true, but nobody tells you what the first 2 years actually look like. Let me give you the honest version.
Hey, welcome to Hardwired Trades, where we talk real stuff about the electrical trade. No fluff. I've been in this industry a long time, and today I'm breaking down what electrical apprenticeships are really like: the good, the rough parts, and everything in between. If you're thinking about going this route, this is the video you need to watch first. What an apprenticeship actually is. An electrical apprenticeship is a paid training program, typically 4 to 5 years, where you work in the field as an apprentice while also attending classroom instruction. You're earning while you're learning, which is the biggest difference between this and going to college. Most apprenticeships in the US go through either a union, like IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, or a non-union program through NECA or IEC. There are also some contractors who run their own apprenticeship programs. When you complete it, you come out with your journeyman card. That's your license to work as a fully qualified electrician. In most states, that card also represents thousands of documented hours of training, hours that count toward your master electrician license further down the road. So what you're building isn't just a job. It's a career ladder with real rungs. The good stuff, for real. Let's start with the wins, because there are a lot. No debt. You're getting paid the whole time, usually starting somewhere around 40 to 50% of journeyman wages and stepping up each year as you progress. By year 4, you're making decent money. You graduate without owing a dollar. Compare that to a 4-year degree. The average student loan debt for a bachelor's degree is over $37,000, and a lot of those graduates don't end up in careers that directly use what they studied. An apprentice in year 4 is making $65,000 to $80,000 depending on market. The college grad with student loans is still trying to figure out where they fit. Career security. Electricians are in demand everywhere. This isn't a job that gets outsourced overseas. It doesn't get automated easily. Every building that goes up needs electrical work. Every existing building needs maintenance. That's not changing. The skills are real. By the time you finish, you know your stuff cold. Electrical theory, code, wiring methods, troubleshooting. You've done thousands of hours of actual hands-on work. That experience lives in your hands and your head permanently. And here's one that doesn't get mentioned enough: the social network. When you go through an apprenticeship, especially a union program, you build relationships with journeymen, contractors, inspectors, and other apprentices. That network follows you through your entire career. The foreman who took time to teach you becomes a reference. The apprentice buddy who went out on his own becomes a GC you can sub for. These connections have real, lasting value. The parts nobody talks about. Here's where I want to be straight with you, because too many people go in expecting it to be easy and they're not ready for what hits them. The first couple years are humbling. You're the new guy or girl. You're sweeping up, you're running wire, you're doing the grunt work. Experienced guys may not always take the time to explain things the way you'd like. You have to ask questions, sometimes ask the same question twice, and stay hungry to learn. The ones who thrive are the ones who show up every day ready to prove themselves, who pay attention even when they're doing basic work, and who never stop asking why. The pay in year 1 isn't great. If you've been working a job that pays $20 an hour and you start an apprenticeship at $14 or $15, that's a real sacrifice. It gets better, but that first year can be financially tight. You need to plan for that. Know your budget going in, cut what you can, and treat it as an investment in the next 30 years of your career. The classroom component is required, and it matters. Union apprenticeships typically require 144 plus hours of classroom instruction per year on top of your field work. If you were hoping to skip the bookwork, that's not how this goes. You need to pass tests, understand theory, and take it seriously. The guys who blow off the classroom end up struggling when it comes time to pass the journeyman exam. The physical reality is also worth knowing. This is a physically demanding job, lifting heavy wire, crawling through attics, bending conduit, standing all day. If you're not in decent physical shape when you start, you will be after a few months. Your body adapts. But the first weeks can be genuinely brutal if you're coming from a desk job. Your hands will take a beating. Your back will be sore. That's normal. It passes. Union versus non-union apprenticeships. This is one of the most common questions, and it's worth addressing. Union IBEW apprenticeships generally offer higher starting wages, better benefits, health insurance, pension, and more structured training. The trade-off is you're in the union, which means dues and following union rules. The work tends to be heavier commercial and industrial. In strong union markets, Chicago, New York, the Pacific Northwest, the IBEW path can set you up exceptionally well. Non-union programs through IEC or individual contractors often have more flexibility. You might get into the program faster, work on more residential or light commercial, and potentially run your own business later without union constraints. The quality of the training is more variable. It depends heavily on who you're working for. A good non-union employer who's committed to teaching you is excellent. A bad one who just wants cheap labor will waste your time. Neither is universally better. It depends on your market, your goals, and your situation. In areas with strong union presence, IBEW is hard to beat on wages and benefits. In right-to-work states where unions are less prevalent, non-union programs are often the practical choice. How to get into an apprenticeship. The process varies by program, but generally you need to be 18 or older, have a high school diploma or GED, have a valid driver's license, pass a math aptitude test, basic algebra and fractions, they test this seriously, pass a drug test. For IBEW specifically, you apply at your local Joint Apprenticeship Training Committee, JATC. Applications are usually open for a limited period, and spots are competitive. Some areas have waiting lists. Apply early and apply to multiple programs in your area. The math test matters more than people expect. Work on fractions, percentages, basic algebra, and measurement math before you apply. A higher test score puts you higher on the selection list. That preparation takes a few weeks, but can make the difference between getting in this cycle versus waiting another year. There are free practice resources online specifically for JTC entrance exams. Use them. Is it worth it? Yeah, I genuinely believe this. If you're someone who likes working with your hands, likes problem solving, doesn't want to sit at a desk for 40 years, and wants to build real skills, this is one of the best paths available to you. Journeyman electricians average $65,000, $80,000 a year nationwide. In high cost of living markets, journeymen are pulling $100,000 or more with overtime. Master electricians and contractors can make well into six figures. You'll work with your hands and your mind every day, and no 2 days are exactly the same. The first 2 years are the test. If you can grind through them with a good attitude and a willingness to learn, the back end of that apprenticeship and the career that comes after is absolutely worth it. That's the real talk on electrical apprenticeships. If you've got questions about the process, drop them in the comments. I'll answer what I can. Subscribe to Hardwired Trades for more practical content on the electrical trade. And I'll see you in the next one.
That's the real talk on electrical apprenticeships. If you've got questions about the process, drop them in the comments. I'll answer what I can. Subscribe to Hardwired Trades for more practical content on the electrical trade, and I'll see you in the next one.